Welcome back to Charles Plays HEXEN, motherfuckers. Charles in the house. In the last episode, we became acquainted with the Griffin, Wolf, and Dragon chapels. We have thus far hit exactly one switch in each, meaning we have 6 out of 9 switches remaining. Before we dive into Griffin Chapel a second time to fully colonize the bitch for the British Empire, FedEx platform I do believe owes me a crater of might. I want to give a quick shout out to whoever it was who commented that I was saves coming this platform. He knows who he is. Saves coming, you say? I wouldn't even need to. If I felt the need, the platform simply will not deny me. But I suppose, if it lets you sleep better, then feel free to draw your own conclusions. Anyway, Griffin Chapel beckons, motherfuckers. Familiar territory, except now that we have been to Wolf and Dragon Chapel, the previously barred passages lay open to us, and we have colonizing to do, don't you know, motherfuckers? We have 2 choices, downstairs or through the big open area, but I will take the hidden third choice and collect the discs of repulsion that I goddamn guarantee you I did not forget last time. I left them here on purpose. Don't argue, or it's off to the dungeon and shit with you. Anyway, this is the big open area, and aside from performing some Olympic-level strafe jump of sorts, there's no inherently obvious way to proceed here. There is, however, an arrow on the floor pointing straight at the chasm, and as you've no doubt figured out at this point, it points to a rather fancy invisible bridge. However, I recommend you either jump or run with your first step, because if you walk you will likely fall into the gap and plunge to your doom regardless. I suggest hitting the switch and returning to the starting platform, because an army of Afrits is coming to fuck up your day, and it is far easier to fight them when you have more space to maneuver. As you can see, I wasn't kidding about when I said an army of the little fuckers. Let's show them what for, shall we? Stop fucking about up there and wasting everybody's time. Your British overlord demands it. It really is amazing how much more shit you can get done if you do it with authority, you know. Now let's cross the precarious bridge to the final platform, where some dumb shitheads are desperately looking for their space bars. This platform houses a teleport that we must take if we are to reach Griffin Chapel switch number 2. I'd hoped to knock one of the edins into the bridge, but no matter. Having the entrails all over the walls is fine too. Anyway, boys and girls, let's step in. The teleport has placed us right near the bottom of the chasm, and you can see the lava within safe falling distance. But do not hop down there, because as far as I am aware there is no way up, and you will slowly burn to your death in the magma. Now then, welcome to the John Romero room. I have dubbed it such, because the room very clearly has a penchant for bitch making. The walls are moving around in all manner of directions, and being in the wrong place at the wrong time will result in a Baratus pancake. Your natural instinct will be to head straight through the room, because a seemingly safe tunnel is at the end with the switch in the distance. I implore you to not do this, unless you want the ceiling to finish what the walls started. You must deactivate the ceiling, and to do that, you must navigate this horrific room, and locate a total of 4 switches. Some tips for navigating the fucker are as follows. First off, the walls in the middle, that head to the outsides of the room, have a higher velocity than the outside walls. In addition, the room is symmetrical as far as switch placement goes. All 4 of them are located behind door walls. This is our third, but naturally the last has to be almost as inconveniently placed as possible. One moment while I navigate my way to the pitch. And that makes 4. The ceiling is now deactivated and will not drop down on us as we pass through. But this wall needs to bloody move. Careful with that final wall, it's a bit of a doozy. If you reach these pickups and have not been flattened, then you know you have completed the puzzle correctly. Let's grab all the crystal vials and hit the switch, which leaves 1 final puzzle switch in Griffin Chapel, and 5 remaining in total. Hitting the puzzle has a side effect of making John Romero room calm the fuck down, so if you are short on green mana and somehow managed to miss the pickups in the switch rooms, now is the time to go and claim them. As for me, I'm taking the teleport. We are now back at the top of the chasm, and there is nothing further for us out here, so let us return to the central room. Only one area of Griffin Chapel remains unconquered, and that way is down the stairs, where the serpents are having an amateur gangbang. This one here managed to get me with his cheap shot. No matter, if cheap shots are on the menu, then I will indulge. Serpents, meet Quietus. Quietus likes it when a bunch of enemies line up like dominoes. Steady on your way down, there are more enemies lurking. One rather tall offshoot tunnel can be seen in this room, and that is of course the direction we will be heading. However, we must first deal with everybody's favorite flying fuckwits.
Don't waste my time.
Did I just call a Fritz everybody's favorite flying fuckwits? My mistake, that would be these chanting nitwits with their homing paper cuts. Even if their attacks do fuck all damage, I suggest fighting them from the tunnel, because there is bugger all room to maneuver out there, as well as a little drop if you fuck up your footwork. I do believe that is it for the bishops. We will use the hammer's incredible second area attack and nail that afrit. Stepping onto this platform here counts as the third puzzle switch for Griffin Chapel, so we could leave right now if we wanted. However, there is a percolator up there, and we want that shit. If you face this wall, you can see a solitary stained glass window. Take the fucker out to open a wall, but be ready for the afrit ready to ambush you. Once he's dead, you can feel free to ambush the second.
Tremble before me.
You will also receive a couple of crystal vials for your valiant efforts. We are now at 4 percolators, and jeez, I didn't even realize my creator count had reached double digits. This game is clearly trying to turn Baratus into an alcoholic. A small handful of enemies now stands between us and the portal out of here. While I clear them out, I want you all to brainstorm with me. Let's talk about the drink items in this game. We have crystal vials, quartz flasks, and craters of might. Seeing as a crater by definition is a vase of salts for mixing wine and water, it's safe to assume its contents are indeed diluted alcohol. That's what you call logic, motherfuckers.
You fail to amuse me.
Quartz flasks we have already established as being grape drank, because what other drink has such a magnificent purple hue? However, crystal vials have me at a loss. I can't think of any beverage that has a deep blue as its colors. You could make a case for water if you were desperate, but I think that's going a bit too far. By all means, go to your kitchen and turn on the tap. Is that shit deep blue? I rest my case. Let me hear your thoughts and opinions on what fluid could possibly be in the crystal vials, if you would all be so sporting. Speaking of crystal vials, we might as well take a couple to return us to our maximum of 150 health, which fucking well should be 200, but I have bitched about that plenty already. We could go back to John Romero room for mana, but I simply cannot be bothered with it. Griffin Chapel is complete. You can look to the wall to confirm it if you wish. I will do that myself, because that guy who claimed saves coming probably wouldn't believe me otherwise. Shout out to that guy once again. Now then, we are back in the seminary, so FedEx platform beckons. I am tempted not to bother due to these ridiculous allegations. It's hardly my fault that it insists on giving me so many craters. Heck, I see it did not cough up the goods this time, so our crater count remains at a solid 10. Still, a banishment device is nothing to scoff at, even if the first time I used one I ended up being fucked in the ass by an incredibly balanced snow cone. You owe me, platform. Anyway, enough fucking around up here. With Griffin Chapel complete, we have no reason to go back there, so it is time to set about fully colonizing the second. Bark at the moon, motherfuckers, for we have returned to Wolf Chapel, and we are staying until that beautiful Union Jack has been hoisted for good. As far as complete chapel difficulty goes, this one sits in the middle, with Griffin being the easiest, and Dragon being a fuckstorm of shit. Also, for reasons unknown to me, this entryway here is guarded by the least attentive motherfuckers in the game. They don't notice you until you cross the threshold. Anyway, there are a few scattered Slotors, Centaurs, and Etins remaining, but the vast majority of the enemies in here are going to be those chanting floating nitwits. No peripheral vision. I'd blame the helmets if Centaurs weren't retard factories from the get-go anyway. This pillared room should look familiar. It's the first we reached. Apparently we missed a serpent on our first expedition into Wolf Chapel. Who'd have thunk it? Now, from the main entrance, our two paths are straight ahead, and off to the left. I'll take these flèches and tackle the path that leads straight. This path will warrant the use of a chaos device, so do keep that in the back of your mind. Incoming motherfuckers. Edins have apparently mastered the art of falling through the ceiling. Feel free to murder the shit out of them, but do remember that in spite of them, Ceiling Cat is watching you masturbate. Down this passageway is the second puzzle switch for Wolf Chapel, but your Admiral accent should be tingling. That's not the only attempt this path will make at making you the focal point of our monster bukkake. Chop these etins up for the British Empire, or smash them all in a single quiet secondary shot if you prefer. No idea how he survived, but no matter, we fixed that shit right up. Now, at the end of this passageway is an amphitheater. The amphitheater houses the puzzle switch as well as a force of slotters and chanting nitwits. There is also a handful of centaurs, but nobody has ever given a fuck about those useless bricks. Ready your weapons, you have quite a fight on your hands. If you can make it into the amphitheater, you have plenty of room to maneuver around the bishop fire, and there are also 2 large pillars you can take cover behind to nullify the shots. Speaking of nullifying, sit tight while I nullify the ever-living crap out of the remaining enemies in here. Alright, the amphitheater is momentarily ours. Your reward for cleaning the place out is a fountain of mana, a few crystal vials, 2 items on the pills, and this crater of might. That lies annoyingly out of our reach for the moment. You may have also noticed an ank of sorts that appears on the floor that looks strikingly similar to the one on the Mystic Urn. That ank will actually become a platform, allowing us to reach that delicious crater. In order to raise said platform, you must jump on both the pillars, collecting dragon skin braces and the banishment devices you do. That counts as a puzzle switch, but for the love of God, get your chaos device ready to go. Wait for it. Unfortunately for John Romero, Bishop Fire is a little too slow to catch you off guard like that. They do block the exit, however, which is why I advise you to chaos device out and fight them from the hallway. Now they block my crater of might, and you bet your ass I am having absolutely none of that shit. This means war. Actually, let's see if we can get back in there by spamming discs of repulsion to the heavens. Well, we made it back in, and it only cost us a paltry 23 discs. Considering they're not working entirely correctly, I suppose I cannot complain. Seriously, look at this. You see that? The second one didn't even reflect any of the bishop fire. Fucking bullshit. Oh well, let us pray that they perform their function at least somewhat properly on the later bosses, or I am going to be in for a world of pain. I would run out of bloody blue mana, wouldn't I? No problem, hammer secondary solved. Alright, the place has been cleared out for a second time, and now that the ank is raised, we are free to claim our prize, the Crater of Might. That has been taunting us. Shut the fuck up, and get in my collection, you alcoholic shitbag. Unfortunately, we have already cleared the mana pickups out of this room, so we are stuck at 1 blue mana for the next section. Wait a moment, no we are not. I almost forgot a side room that will help us out. A handful of etins lurk on the other side of this door, as well as a few pickups we will claim for the British Empire. Out of the way, cockhead. You can see some crystal vials, some great drank, and a combined mana in here for the taking. I would have preferred more mana, but I'll take what I can get, motherfuckers. Not sure why that alcove is there, but whatever. Let's grab these discs of repulsion, but marvel at the fact this area is asymmetrical. No room over here with items for us. Ain't that a bitch? No matter, we have one more puzzle switch to locate in Wolf Chapel, so let's get back to the job. This bastard is hovering over a huge drop, effectively making him immune to the hammer secondary. Be immune to this, you little fucker. 2 more bishops around the corner. 1 more bishop around the corner. No more bishops around the corner. Now, you can see a pillar in the middle of this room surrounded by a huge drop. What purpose does the pillar serve? I have no bloody idea if it does anything whatsoever, so let's just ignore it and make our way into the dark section of the Wolf Chapel. Etins and bishops lurk in these shadowy corridors. The darkness mainly affects the corridors. There are plenty of rooms with their own sources of light, such as the cooking pot sitting in this one. Wait a minute, there isn't even a cooking pot there, just a fire. What the hell were the bishops even doing in here? The less we ponder about that, the better, I think. Anyway, let's grab the crystal vials and head back into the almost pitch black hallways. As you can see, there are quite a few doors in this hallway, each of which is ripe for colonization. But you know what, motherfuckers, I'm sick of this darkness. Time to burn a torch to stave that shit off. Now, what say we tackle this place on a room-by-room basis, motherfuckers? This room here we will come back to a bit later. For now, let's head into this one. What's up, bishops? Is it just me, or do all skulls look smug as shit? Anyway, let's press on. I'm looking for a specific room. This is the one. I will clear the bishops out and get to explaining momentarily. Okay, you have no doubt noticed the discs of repulsion in this room. Each one is on a slightly raised platform, and stepping on each one will lower it into the floor. Stepping upon all three of them will give you more shit to fight back in the corridors, and we like it when we have shit to fight, don't you know? Now we are going to fight our way back to the room with the brown billows, fighting anything we come across as we go. It's really bloody easy to get lost in this shithole of a chapel. Okay, here we are. 2 bishops are ready to sandwich you on your way in, so be prepared for them. I heard something spawn in the corridors, but whatever. More bishops for you to murder in the next room. Okay, the switch here is the puzzle switch, which will complete the wolf chapel. But watch the brown billows, they will lower and send items in your direction. One billow has a room at the top with an icon of the defender, and you bet your ass we want that shit. The previous billows lower as well.
Destroy!
You can see that this is the billow with the icon of the defender. Take out the guarding item and claim your prize. You know it's rather a good thing that enemies do not have the capability of using your items. Can you imagine coming up here and finding this in, but finding out he not only stole your item, but got invincibility to boot? Shit would be ridiculous and salt-inspiring. Looks like the bishops went for a smoke break. Fine with me. Let's take the great drank and the green mana and get a move on. Okay, what the heck, I hear a net in bashing a bishop. Oh, there they are. Let's observe. Come on, Etin, fuck him up. You useless fucking stale turd of a prick. Jesus Christ. That's clearly some of the biggest fail we have seen in this series. Anyway, boys and girls, Wolf Chapel has nothing further of note to offer us, so it's time to leave. Only 2 switches in Dragon Chapel remain before we can fight the boss of the chapter. However, that will be for the next episode. And that completes Wolf Chapel. Feel free to look to the wall to confirm this. 7 switches found, only 2 remaining. 2 chapels down, 1 chapel to go, and a crater of might to receive. Daddy's home FedEx platform. Puff up the goods. In before accusations of saves coming, motherfuckers. This puts us at a dozen craters of might. We are almost at half our bloody item capacity for them. Anyway, Dragon Chapel awaits, and we will head there next episode. For now, this has been Charles Plays HEXEN. Thanks for watching as always, you bunch of motherfuckers. I'm not bloody saves coming, fuck up.